Today, we're going to explore the Govee TV Backlights 3 Pro, which retrofits to almost any TV and then monitors the screen to extend whatever colour is on the edge onto the incredible lighting coming from the LED strips now mounted to the back of the TV. And spoiler alert, I think this could well be the best form of this retrofit bias lighting technology that you're able to buy right now. Now, I first saw these back at Berlin at IFA, and I was super excited to get them into the home to test them to their fullest extent. And we've actually tested every iteration of Govee TV Backlights, and we've even done a big comparison last year of all of them, including the Backlight 3 Lite. Now, I said at that point that it was particularly odd that they called the model the 3 Lite, especially considering there wasn't the standard 3 or the 3 Pro. But I fully predict that we're going to see a 3 Pro come out at some point with potentially more features, possibly with the same number of LEDs on the strip as the T2, but with the upgraded tech of the 3 Lite. Well, I called it! The new model has a much higher LED density than the Lite. The T3 Lite has 30 LEDs per meter, and the previous T2 had 60 LEDs per meter. The T3 Pro takes the new crown at 75 LEDs per meter. That's almost one every centimetre, and it's coming up to very nearly having absolutely no gaps in between the LEDs. This is a great feat of engineering, and it results in a much more uniform and brighter lighting effect around the TV, which is about 3 times as bright as the T3 Lite. And when I say bright, it's super bright. On setup, it starts at 50%, which I already thought was bright enough, but jumping up to 100% brightness is just dazzling. But this higher density has another positive benefit aside from the brightness. It also makes it much more accurate in replicating the colours off the screen due to the higher density. The previous models had more of an extended glow, which meant that it wasn't sometimes as accurate as you'd want it to be. The colour might exceed the separation slightly. Not that it was bad, of course. You can still see here the 3 Lite performing really well, but due to the density being less than half of that of the Pro, it's simply not as accurate. But altogether, the brightness and vibrancy of the picture extension on the 3 Pro is incredible. It really helps create a fantastically immersive experience that aids almost every genre of content that you're watching. Except maybe horror films, because 65 inches of gore is probably enough without having it splash out into the room with me, as if blood was splashing out of the screen. Anyway, despite the increase in density of LEDs, the response time is excellent. Running our test screen and slowing it down to a crawl shows the LEDs change within just 5 frames. And given that I'm shooting at 30 FPS, it means it analyses the colour, sends that information to the LEDs, and then changes them to match the TV in just 167 milliseconds, or there or thereabouts, which is phenomenally fast. For context, the human reaction speed, though, is 250 milliseconds. So, to the trained eye, the delay is unnoticeable because it's faster than a human can even react. Even on entire screen changes, the LEDs adapt impressively fast. And it's all thanks to the brand new upgraded camera unit that sits on the top, which is the brains of the operation. Interestingly, the 3 Lite dropped from having 2 lenses on the T2 to a single lens on that 3 Lite. Well, this is something else, because Govee have returned to having multiple lenses, but instead of 2, they've got 3, because 2 apparently wasn't enough. These 3 HDR cameras read the information on the screen, sending the data to the LEDs to get them to replicate what these see. Now, having 3 is necessary for that level of high precision to get that exact accuracy for the higher density level of LEDs. And now that they're HDR, they can read much more subtle colours and the highlights and shadows that they weren't previously able to do. So they definitely appear to be more sensitive than before, and whilst that's a good thing, it can have an impact depending on your environment. In darker environments in the evening where you might not have many other lights on, it looks stunning. If, though, you have lights on that are perhaps next to the TV, the camera can actually pick up the reflection of that light and treat it as if it's the picture on the screen. So, for example, you can see here how a nearby lamp is causing the glow on the right-hand side of the screen, even though the screen is completely off. This can also happen with reflection. So if you have a particularly bright room and your TV is particularly reflective, you may find that it affects the sensors on the camera. So I'd say that these are much better suited to a more controlled, slightly darker environment, or at least used during the evening. But it does have utility beyond just being a bias light in the evening, however. You don't even necessarily need to use it as a bias light. Like all of Govee's kit, it syncs directly to the Govee app, where it gives you the ability to further pair it with multiple Govee lights for lighting scenarios that synchronize across products. And along with this, we've got complete customization of the lighting, so you can display whatever you want on there and have it permanently based on that style, based on your selections within the app. But interestingly, there's a bunch of new additions to how it responds to the screen when in use, with varying degrees of color matching options. For example, what I've been showing you so far has been set on the delicate setting, where it will try and accurately extend the colors with precision. But this will give you the best extension experience. But some people might not like that, so you can actually lower the intensity of this by selecting smooth, which will be less precise and have smoother changes. And there's also vivid, which is less again, and then there's solid, which will display a colour that matches a hue most seen on the screen. So there's a few ways to tune your light show depending on your personal preference. But along with this, you're also able to add an AI filter for certain sports modes, which helps create a more consistent approach. Think about extending the football field with greens whilst not reacting to the small players, for example, which is pretty cool. Another thing you can do is set the lights to react not just to visual, but to sound as well, which can really help the overall thematic display depending on the content that you're watching. Imagine a clubbing scene where the lights are reacting to the sound as well as the lights on the screen. It's almost like having a 4D experience. Now really, this is just scratching the surface of the app because it's got so many options in here to play with. You're able to pair it directly with your smart home for use with other smart home systems as well. But it's this app that makes this device, and all of Govee's lighting really, a rather incredible powerhouse for smart home users, and it helps the TV Backlight 3 Pro be the absolute best when it comes to bias lighting. But it's all about perspective and preference about how these work with a camera. Now, in my opinion, the camera is a double-edged sword of this product and the rest of the TV Backlight range. On one hand, it's the Achilles heel of the product because it's the part that people will dislike the most. It is, after all, a rather obvious thing when looking at your TV from the side. Head on, it sort of melts away when you're watching the TV, given the fact that you're focused on whatever is on the TV and the bright colours that are dazzling you around the outside. Personally, I don't even notice that there's a camera there anymore, but I know that it's an area of contention for some people, stopping them from taking the plunge. But, and here is where it's a double-edged sword, because it's a 100% necessary device to make these retrofit bias lighting work. Now hold up, because I can almost hear your mouse wheels whirring and your fingers greasily sliding across your black mirrors to get to the comment section as we speak. And yes, I realise that there is another way to make bias lighting work through the use of HDMI sync boxes. And in fact, Govee even sell one themselves. So if you didn't want this camera, that could be an option. But there's one massive problem with this, and that's that if you wanted to have a cameraless experience, then you can no longer use your TV's inbuilt software because the TV doesn't have a visual out. It's only got a visual in. So to make sync boxes work, you need to forget your smart TV is actually smart and add something like a Fire Stick, Apple TV, or whatever else you want to watch movies on. But then your setup just becomes convoluted and messy. you're adding things needlessly. The camera is literally the only way, from my knowledge, that you can get your average TV to display accurate bias lighting when using the native user interface and software already installed on your TV. So you might not like it, but it is a necessary evil for the foreseeable future, unless TV companies start allowing some kind of visual output from the TV too. The only thing I would say is that previous generations of the Govee backlights have let you use the backlight stood in front of the TV. And in my opinion, I sort of preferred that method as it was a little bit less obtrusive, but then that comes with problems like little milk goblins picking it up and trying to mash it together as part of their My First Zoo Duplo set. But all I can say is that as it is, it's pretty much the peak of this type of technology right now. And if you're looking at retrospectively adding bias lighting to your televisions and you want the experience to be as good as it possibly can be, then the TV Backlight 3 Pro is absolutely the product of choice. But how much does that pinnacle of technology actually cost? Well, it'll depend on your TV size, as they do a few different options, but the smallest size, which is 55 to 65 inch, comes in at just £169 RRP, and then the larger one, which is 75 to 85, comes in at £199. I'll link them below, and I'll drop the QR code here so you can scan that and take a look if you're watching on TV. But I think that both sizes are extremely reasonably priced, and it's not a huge amount more than the T2 was, which in my opinion makes it great value. Certainly when considering what you get for paying the smidgen extra: faster response time, higher density, and a more accurate, brighter and vibrant experience. If you want the best of the best, I think it's absolutely worth every penny. But what do you guys think? Do you think this type of technology is better with or without a camera? And do you like bias lighting, or do you think it's too much of a distraction and too much of a gimmick? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you all back for another episode of STU'S Reviews soon.